So, how does it do, internet crew? Yeah, that sucks. I'll figure out something better eventually. So, what have I been doing lately? I currently have some personal artwork running in the background. This is something I was just working on as I was practicing with compositions and stuff, and I've been getting some traditional work out there. Not traditional work, but I mean like things that are just random ideas and not fan art or my OCs and stuff. Just random artwork that I wanted to get out there that may or not have been requested by my family. Again, this was pretty fun to work on as I wanted to continue doing artwork that can appeal to, multiple groups of people, but also would be fun for me, which I think is a pretty important part of artwork. And also building up a little bit of a gallery for myself as I find the best website to sell my art on, which I'm still doing research about, so if anyone could make any recommendations as I'm going through this, it would be very much appreciated. I do have a ton of other artworks that I have planned for the past couple of weeks, like some of these other compositions that I have cooked up. I'm mainly just practicing, but one thing I've always really wanted to do was move on from just fan art and create some weird original things. Things have been pretty annoying for me for the past couple of weeks, but otherwise I think I've been pursuing it well enough, even if it isn't the most consistent. Alright, so here's my third time-lapse today of Yukari Timelapse from Persona 3. It's actually one of the last things that I drew digitally. I have this up on my page currently, but it is one of the last things I drew digitally before I left. I've worked in grayscale for this one just to get a handle on values more and, making more lively expressions. I had a ton of fun doing this one, but I really wanted to take the time to discuss my love for video games, and in this case, Persona. So if you don't know, I'm actually a very big Persona fan, and Atlas fan, if me doing artwork of one of their characters isn't obvious. But I'm not really here to gush over the SMT franchise, but I am going to talk about their upcoming releases to ease you guys into my critic persona. Not really. This won't become a review channel. I mean, I guess I'll do reviews, but I'm a nerd and I have strong opinions, so it will arise. So, Persona 4 Arrival. Huh, this looks finished. I want it now! Yeah, no issues here, but what has been said about the remixes have always been said, and I have my issues, but I also like things about the new music as well. Hopefully the new mechanics, like Prime Time, aren't too broken, but what can you really do? Balance has never really been a concern for Atlas when it comes to Persona, or even some of their other games that are heavily tilted in the opposite direction. Rather than being too easy, but I really wanted to talk about Persona 6, which is why I made this whole section. I'm going to keep this short, as I could make a much longer, in-depth video about this game and my personal wants, but I really just wanted to say, please, better balance. Physical is broken, specifically in the modern Persona games, and don't make skill cards spammable, like in Reload. Like, I thought this was kind of weird how easy and often you got them, and then you could just duplicate them with, like, no time slot wasted every day. Like, do no one, like, play test this game? Also, stop making romances, like, footnotes. I really wanted to talk about this because the social aspects are such an important part of Persona, and I just had to really get into this. Like, extra dialogue and reactions to that would just be enough, but seriously, I almost didn't get into Persona because of some of the weirdos that were, like, into romances and stuff. Why do so many grown men argue to death about teenage girls and which one is the best? Anyway, people talk so much about romance, and it's honestly one of the weakest parts of the game. Actually, I dare if I say the weakest part of the social elements of the game. Like, literally any Mass Effect or Larian game clears. I'm not so good at thinking of new concepts, and there's not enough hope for, story speculation, so I'll just stick with what I got right now. Also, better character development outside of social links and optional content to hang out with characters that actually does things that isn't just like, hey, I'm hanging out with my rank 10, but I don't get anything for it. Like, it just kind of wastes my time. Social links are a big part of modern Sona, but I think just a little bit to make the characters feel less dependent on the MC and make them feel less like Glazers. I noticed this a lot throughout my, replaying through the original Persona 4, 3 Reload, and 5 Royal. Maybe it's just a big thing for the Japanese audience of the franchise. Yeah, yes, the main character's special, and that's part of the charm, but I do feel like at times things feel contrived. The games are about building relationships, but it's hard to take it seriously at times when a lot of it does feel very contrived. But I guess that could be kind of the point, as characters are drawn towards each other, especially where story arcs where characters become irrelevant after their personal arc is over. But that's not really unique to Persona as a franchise either. Also, no hot spring sing. For the love of... Well, I can't speak. Also, no hot springs. For the love of God. I really doubt this will ever be removed because the Atlas loves their hot spring scenes. But, yeah, I just had a little bit to say. Again, another thing that could be a much longer video, but those were just my opinions, and I hope you like the artwork.
Damn! Listen to this shit, Makoto. Yukari just tried giving me fucking brownies. Like, it's not even that I think she's a bad cook. I'm a fucking dog.
Yeah, okay, so that rant ended up being a lot longer than I believed it to be, but this is exactly how passionate I get about this stuff. So, any more discussions about these things are very welcome here. I'm still contemplating, like, Castlevania games. It's definitely a list of my discussion. I actually started playing Harmony of Dissonance about a month or two back. I got to the second castle, and I literally haven't progressed any further than that. But I really want to finish this up because I do think this can be interesting, and with Belmont's Curse coming out later this year, I would love to hop on the Castlevania train a bit, but also I bought a bunch of the games, and it's probably important that I follow up on that. Yeah, this Mirror Castle is bull. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my art. Let me know what you would love to see next. More lore, video games. Regardless, I'll transfer the discussion to you. Logging out. That one sucked too. I gotta figure out these phrases soon enough. No one's gonna remember this, but yeah. Play my outro. Like, seriously, how many times am I gonna tell people to do stuff like this? Read a book, drink water, love your family, or friends, whoever's there. Don't get rage baited, and don't be a lazy bum. Yeah.